And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from the Reaper of the Mist 69. Reaper of the Hidden Mist 69. That's the question. Who would win a fight, Tobirama or Minato? Now, this is not one of the ones recently where I've been able to go, who would win, this or this? Well, it's this. Goodbye, and then, explain why. No, this is actually one where you can have a legitimate debate about. Now, I think the wide consensus is Minato is the superior ninja. But let's actually look into that briefly. What do both ninjas bring to the table? Both are Kage level ninja. They both have that, ability. They're both that level of power. Tobirama was the second Hokage, and he was in a time where peace was only just starting to be formed, whereas Minato was Kage, basically became Kage at the end of a ninja war, and he's also the youngest one to become Kage as well. Skill-wise, both these guys are raised on the battlefield, basically. Tobirama a lot more than Minato, to be fair. The Senju also have long lifespans, too, that help them, hang around longer. A lot more vitality. They're related to the Uzumaki in that regard. Tobirama, we know, had a master, and I mean mastery of water jutsu, to the point where he could summon huge bodies of water out of nothing. Just from the air, just from the water particles in the air, he could summon massive amounts of water. He could do it with either no hand sign or massive impressive jutsu with barely one hand sign. We also know he's the one who invented the Edo Tensei, the impure summoning technique. He is also apparently, as we get found out in the Fourth Ninja War, the one who invented the space-time ninjutsu, the Flying Raijin. Now, what we do know about Minato is that, and Tobirama even stated this during their fight with Obito, is that Minato's was a superior version of his, because his was the first version, so it had plenty of room to be improved upon at least before he died. So we know that Minato has the edge in space-time ninjutsu. We also know that Minato is very skilled in sealing techniques as well, not just in space-time ninjutsu, but in sealing as well. Minato also is the one who invented the Rasengan, a very powerful technique in its own right. We know Minato has multiple elements under his belt. We just don't know what techniques he knows under those elements. I believe he has wind, fire, and water, or was it fire and lightning? I think it was water. I looked it up during the Minato What If, but I'll double check again just to be safe. What were his chakra elements again? It's wind and fire. I know are on there because that's where Naruto got his wind jutsu from, or wind chakra from. Yeah, no, it was wind, fire, and lightning, and yin and yang. Going, since I have this page up here already, might as well use it. Let's see here. Show me the jutsu. Or stop doing stuff. The page is doing this weird thing where it's kind of bumping up and down because I think it's loading, which is very odd, but okay. Okay, you good now? You good? Okay, good. Minato, he also is able to use the dead demon consuming seal. He also had Sage Mode, though by his own definition, he's not very good at using it, despite it being a mastered version of it that we saw. He is a sensor ninja. He knows the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and he did end up sealing the Fox Chakra in him, but that is post his death, so we will not be using that for this fight. We're looking at them essentially in their living prime. He had the Flying Thunder God Slash, the Flying Thunder God Technique, which is obviously Flying Raijin, Thunder God Second Step, and Flying Thunder God Guiding Thunder, all of which are just different variations on the same technique, but in an instantaneous revolving technique, Flying Thunder God. He made a lot of uses out of that technique. And then, let's see, our Hokage, the second, just to go more into what the second was capable of doing. The second Hokage, Tobirama Senju. Here you are. Tobirama Senju. Seeing as I had the information up, might as well get Tobirama's full specs. Apparently, Tobirama actually had more elements than he did. Tobirama actually had all 5 chakra elements he could utilize, and yin and yang. So, he does actually beat out Minato in that regard, which I gotta say is impressive. Although, of course, we only ever see him using, water chakra. But ninjutsu, he said he had skill in variety in ninjutsu, as well as barrier ninjutsu, apparently. He was skilled as a sword, wielding the sword of the Thunder God, a blade with electrical powers, although that is not canon, as far as we know. Try to justify how you like that. As far as we know, we only ever saw that in canon. Let's see here. He also had the Flying Thunder God, mutual instantaneous revolving technique, and had a few Flying Thunder God techniques as well. He had the summoning technique, which was, summoning impure resurrection. 4 red Yang formation. What the hell? Oh, that's his barrier ninjutsu. Heavily weeping. I don't know what that one is. Multiple water techniques, as I stated earlier. Oh, this is where he basically needed chakra, which chakra is needed, and he uses his body transformed into water and shaped as a senbone. Oh, that's cool. Okay. It should still be listed under water release when you're listening to Jutsu on here, but whatever. Master, like I said, master of pretty much, he could use any nature transformation, but he was a master of water release. Space-time ninjutsu, we talked about the Flying Thunder God. Summoning. He's especially proficient in summoning, infinite techniques, summoning impure resurrection. It implies he might have had a summoning contract with something, but we don't know what it was. He invented invented mutually multiplying explosive seal tags, which he was able to basically summon and basically take advantage of the revived body's natural advantage, using them as kamikaze attacks. Very dangerous. He's also extremely analytical on the battlefield to boot. Last but not least, Minato, we know, had the Toad summoning contract. That's how he got Sage Mode. Both these guys were ruthless on the battlefield. So, who wins in this fight? Honestly, we don't ever really see Minato using any nature transformation, but I think it's a moot point that, because I think Tobirama had the edge when it came to nature transformation. I think we just see it demonstrated that he was that much more skilled, especially with water jutsu. But we know Minato had the edge, the very large edge as it stands, with space-time ninjutsu, especially the Flying Thunder God technique and how he, improved upon that. So that's two edges. What about their other factors here? What about, say, their summoning? Well, we know that Tobirama has the impure summoning technique, but you need the DNA of the summoning summoner needs the summoning individual's DNA to even use it. In the heat of battle, unless you actually have access to the DNA to make it work, wouldn't really matter. Now, how he used it in the past, we don't know. My guess is maybe he had some blood or whatever, but from in combat. But still, in combat, unless he has something available, the impure resurrection actually isn't all that effective. But let's say, for the sake of argument, he can use it. Now, Minato still has the Rasengan for close range. He also has the specialized kunais. Ooh, man, this would be an interesting fight. Especially because when you're factoring in their space-time ninjutsu, they would be blitzing each other back and forth. Just like, got you, no, got you. There'd be a lot of gotcha moments. Minato's basic sensory capabilities, added on with Sage transformation if he actually needed to use it, does give him an edge over Tobirama, though, because he'd actually be able to keep track of him, probably. Oh. There's that water jutsu, though. Those water jutsus would really be able to keep Minato at bay for a while. And they would both probably be putting tags on each other. Honestly, what I see happening here is they'd both be tired out, but they both realize they have a summoning tag on them, though. Or a jutsu formula tag on them. So basically, the minute they, it's going to come down to who is going to Flying Thunder God first and get the kill blow in. It's all going to be about timing. And unfortunately, even though, it's not going to be about timing, it's also going to be about your mastery of the technique. Timing and technique. Both will have impeccable timing. I do think Tobirama, because he lived and used the jutsu a bit more, has at least better timing. But I think Minato has a better mastery of the technique. And Tobirama even stated that. So if they go simultaneously at the same time with their jutsu, and both try to stab each other at the same time, Minato might actually disappear again, because he's got it all on his weapon, stuff like that. So the minute he disappears, he reappears, but it doesn't appear in front of Tobirama, because Tobirama's probably not paying attention. He thinks they both see the tag on itself. They're going to do one final charge. Minato, though, goes to one of his kunai and just bypasses Tobirama, who gets surprised, like, wait, what? And then all of a sudden, Minato appears. So it's an instant, like, da-da-da, because they move basically instantaneously. It's basic light speed, like, if not beyond that. So it's like literally within a second, Tobirama is not aware of what just happened. So he's just like, wait, what happened? Because I think what Minato plans to do is basically time it in a way where Tobirama appears, he disappears, and then reappears again in front of Tobirama. So Tobirama's like attacked. He's like, wait, what? And then it's like, well done, fourth Hokage. And then just drops dead. Now, obviously, these would not be two individuals who probably would fight. Although there's circumstances, thanks to the whole world of Naruto, where they could fight. In fact, there's a possibility they very well could fight. But ultimately, yeah, that I think Minato would take it. It would be tough. These two guys have a lot of similar abilities, and they both have edges over each other the others doesn't. So, yeah, I would go Minato. But this would be a cool fight to literally just see play out. Like in an alternate timeline scenario where Tobirama and Minato had to fight for some reason. That would be cool to watch. And get Kishimoto's, opinion on who ultimately was going to be the winner in that scenario. Either way, though, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.